Yes, my people, welcome back to another episode of the third half. I mean, yes, again, joined by Stuart and Walid. Of course, they were with us in the previous episode
Allez
as well.
bleus. Walid, what are you saying, my brother? Are you England fan now, huh?
Yeah, switched
You
up
remember you
quick.
said we the previous stream. Now
I was just
you
speaking
England.
French. I was just speaking French. There's no way.
Stuart, he's got the England jersey at the back now. Look, he's got the England
Just to
jersey in
wind
the
them
back.
up.
Yeah, can you see? Can you see?
Of course.
You
He
should have
was
let
here
him
the
figure that
whole
out.
time. He was waiting for the right time to just turn the kid,
Exactly.
man. Come on.
But listen, guys, we've got a lot to talk about, of course, a lot of games in the quarterfinals that we need to discuss. Listen, for me, I'm a happy man. It's another great summer, another semi-final for England. Listen, I feel like it's only right to start there. England versus Norway, the Jude Bellingham show, man. This is the Jude Bellingham show. This is his tournament. This is his team. I feel like, this tournament, he's really, dragged us to where we are now. Of course, yes, Harry Kane has had goals as well, but I really do feel like this is his team. I feel like the way he just, in every phase of the play, whether it's defending, whether it's an attack, the guy's doing everything for us. And I'm glad, because coming into this tournament, there was a lot of criticism towards him. People even questioned whether or not he should even be in the England team. The media were kind of onto him about it. There was a whole circus, regarding Jude Bellingham. And what a way to silence your critics, man. I feel like this is the best way possible, performing on the biggest stage, in front of millions of people, a quarter final, against a tough team. I felt like Norway were a tough team. But what were your lot's thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Jude Bellingham has, it almost reminds me of England stars that always shine in certain tournaments, like Rooney in the Euros, where he really stamped his authority to really make his name. It's weird about Jude Bellingham. He's already a big name. He's at Real Madrid. He's already a big name. But Rooney then came alive, and then Michael Owen, the David Beckhams, they always have this tournament where they bring their name. I think Jude Bellingham's cemented himself in the England setup almost, because he's big name elsewhere. He doesn't play in England, so it's hard to get that relationship maybe with the fans because he's not playing in the Premier League. But I think this cemented it almost to have that, even though there was a close relationship with the fans, this is almost like he's definitely there for us. And the Gascoignes and stuff, it just feels like he's part of that criteria now where, I mean, you're talking about a quarter final, running the shop. When you need him, he's there. There's certain plays that hide, and he was just, it's weird because he has that arrogance where some people don't like him, but you need that to be in that moment to score those type of goals, to take on the ball. And yeah, he might have that arrogance here and there, but that's the difference between maybe a world class or people that drag you into those games to maybe the people that don't have that arrogance and shy away in certain moments, really.
Yeah. I agree, bro. I think with Jude, it's like you just mentioned. I think his ego is what gets people to criticize him. I think a lot of the times I feel like he rubs people the wrong way with his attitude or the way he is on the pitch. But I think it's a brilliant thing, especially for England, because you need guys that are not scared of the moment. You need guys that are willing to take risks, put their bodies on the line, be in the right place at the right time. You can see that he wants those moments, those glory moments. He wants to be the guy. And I know you just mentioned players like Gerrard, Lampard, and Rooney, but I think in terms of his England career, I think he surpassed all of those guys from that generation. Rooney, Gerrard, Lampard. I think what he's already done at his age as well for England. He's still very young, and I think only Mbappé has scored more goals than him for international tournaments. Than him, but at the age he's at now. Only Mbappé has scored more. Yeah. So it shows you what kind of company he's with, and what type of player he is. He's a world-class player, whether people like to accept it or not. And I know he's not one of those players that are, the most pleasing on the eye aesthetically. He might not be the one that you want to buy a ticket to go watch, but on the pitch, he gives you everything, whether it's off the, aggression, work rate off the ball, defensively, offensively. He could create, he could score goals. He's strong. He could give you literally everything. And yeah, I think he's not only going to be a key player for England now, but even for the next 2-3 major tournaments that we go into, I think he's going to be a key player and probably a future England captain as well, in my opinion. But we're obviously going to talk about the game. Because we have to give credit to Norway. I don't think England as a team performed well. I don't think it was one of our best performances.
That chance they had before halftime, the number 7 not crossing it to Erling Haaland, and Erling Haaland was pissed off. When they missed that one, I was watching the game. I said they will regret this 1000%, because it was right before halftime. If you are 2-0 before halftime, the game will be completely different. I think they bottled this. They should have scored that one, and it was the game changer in my opinion. So, and Erling Haaland was really quiet. Let's be honest.
But I think you're right, because in that moment, I think Soloff, was playing. It felt like he was playing against Norway. He was literally playing against them, you know. But you should look. You got probably the best striker in world football in front of you. He's open in space. It's a 2v1, and you decide not to square it to him. I think it's ridiculous. And I'll be surprised.
This number 7 was originally the number 9 of Norway.
Yeah,
and he had to make space for Haaland, and he said, "Okay, that's fine. He's better than me. I will play on the side." But normally he was number 9. So I feel like he wanted as well, after they were 1-0 up, he wanted to have his goal as well, so he was a bit selfish. You know, some kind of...
I agree.
I felt like there was something wrong here, because he was so open, so obvious. You just had to cross it, that's it, 2-0.
And ultimately, you could say, it's fair to say, that probably cost them the game. You could say, it's fair to say that it probably cost them the game. But before that, before they even scored, before that moment, obviously Norway scored. But the goal... There were questions about whether there was a foul on Harry Kane, in the build-up to that goal. Willie, what do you think? Do you think that was a foul?
I don't think so, mate. I don't. Again, it's almost like going back to the Argentina-Egypt. It's the same thing. Like, England have to defend it. It was a poor... Yeah. I think rather than looking at the foul, it's not like a foul and then all of a sudden we've counter-attacked and there's only 2 men. You know, we're still in a good setup. They still should defend this properly. So... You could, again, it's here and there. I don't think you should be looking at that. It's more the case of why didn't England defend it more so. Sure. And it was similar to the Egypt-Argentina. Like, yes, it's a foul, but Argentina should have defended it properly. So, yeah, I just think... But again, you could argue the case of why did they give it to Egypt? People are saying this now. Why did Egypt... So it's the case of this, which was the consistency I agree with. But if we're taking it case by case, the thing where I don't want to go back to the Egypt, but it's almost like these live motions, you almost have to be the referee and trust it you almost have to feel the game. Like that speed live, it doesn't feel like a foul. But when you slow it down and you see the fabric touching each other on the boots, yes, it's a foul technically, but you have to be there, feel it, see the emotions of it. Both of them for me weren't a foul. But it's the issue that you just said. One was a foul and one isn't, and that's why there's conversations now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was a foul. I think it was the right call to let the play on. I felt like the guy, he did get a bit of the ball before he made any sort of contact with Harry Kane. But the finish, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think that's one of the best goals of the tournament. Whether he meant it or not, I don't know. I
don't think he meant it. I think he wanted to cross it.
No way.
Yeah, but that finish, if he meant it, would be one of the best goals of this tournament. True. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a bit like, fair play, you know. Sometimes you can't do anything, you know what I mean? But
Liban, do you not think Pickford's like overrated? I think Pickford is one of the worst goalkeepers in the tour. I think he's absolutely horrific.
Yeah, I think for England he's exceptional. I think club football, I think for England he's really, really, really good.
Who do you have apart from Pickford? Do you know what I mean?
But still, I mean, the goals we give away in Mexico. The first two games, it was literally shots from where he shouldn't be saving these. Like. I just feel
plus his footwork during the game. He took unnecessary risks as well. At many occasions, he was about to commit a madness, and he's very shaky sometimes. I agree, and he likes doing the spectacle, unnecessary punches, and making a show of himself. Sometimes it's not necessary. That I can understand.
But to be fair, I also do think he saved us from conceding quite a lot of goals as well. There's some games, especially when games are tight and we're fighting for our lives, he's pulled off some big saves and. I mean, for England over the years, I think he's been secure. I wouldn't say he's a world class. I still wouldn't say he's a world class keeper, but in the English shirt, I'll definitely say he's exceptional for England. And in terms of the other options that we have, yes, you could potentially say maybe other keepers could do better, like James Trafford or Henderson. But I think he's cemented his spot because of all the work that he's done previously. But yeah, I mean, Pickford's had his moments, and you could also criticize it at the same time as well. So I do hear it. But listen, Bellingham scores the equaliser. The man again, he does it once again, like he's been doing throughout this tournament. Yeah. But in the build-up to that goal, there was a lot of debate, especially online, and then obviously afterwards as well, about whether or not that goal should have counted. Because when the goalkeeper did the kick, it hit the Skycam, and the ball fell straight down to Elliot Anderson. What was your lot's thoughts on that? Because it's I don't know.
Apparently, they said the sensors in the ball have not recorded anything.
Yeah.
So the more technology you add, the more you can manipulate as well. Let's be honest. So I don't know what's happening with the sensors inside the ball now and stuff. I don't know. It clearly was visible to a lot of people that the ball has hit the cable. But again, it's the same, bro. If you play five-a-side, you do usually have the net on the bottom.
Yeah,
right, you know. Some people, when it hits the net, they say,
it's a free kick.
Yes. Some people, they say it comes back, play on. You know what I mean? So is there a rule about this? I don't know.
I think there is a rule. If it hits an external object, then the goal, it should be a drop ball. That's the rule, apparently. But I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw it live, it did look a little bit odd. I didn't think it hit something, but the way the ball fell, it looked a little bit odd. But then the Norwegian players didn't complain. No one complained. They only complained afterwards when they probably found out, you know, the information. So, I mean, if by law it should have been cancelled, if we're being honest, because of the law says if it hits something external, then it's a drop ball. But I mean, the decision was done. By the time they realized it hit something, you know, the goal was already there. But in terms of the actual goal, though, the first touch from Jude, by the way, to set himself up and then the finish. I don't know. You guys talk to me about it, because I think it looks easy on the eye and it looks very simple, but I think that what he did was top class, in my opinion.
Well, that depends a lot of... sorry, Walid, go on.
No, it's okay. I was just saying, it's one where Gordon picks it up. I think Gordon's past pick out to find him was brilliant, because we've always had issues, whether it's Rashford, is it Gordon, is it Saka, is it Madueke, and we've always had issues in the wing. But to pick him out, well, that was like half the job. And for Bellingham, like you said, to take that touch, it's weird, Bellingham, because he doesn't look like he's not like a frightening, pacey player. It doesn't look like he's got a good touch on, but he almost does. He's like a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Like, he does everything really well.
Yeah,
you can't really say that he's a speciality in this, or he does this really well. He plays like a 9, but he's not really a 9. It's very weird with Bellingham, because you don't know how to match. He's just really big. His stature's there. He goes past people without having major pace about him. But I think it's just excuses. When there's a goal going, or hit the camera and things. Like, again, when these things happen, you just deal with it as a team. You defend. There's no real excuses. You can say there's a camera, but again, it falls from the sky. If there was wind, if there was heavy wind in the match, nobody say, "Oh well, it was really windy. Why did the ball not trajectory in what we thought it was?" So again, I think it's just all excuses. I think you have to defend it as a team, and at the end of the day, it was a goal, and you need to look at yourself before you're like, "Oh well, I hit the camera."
Yeah.
All this.
I get what you're saying, because there's a lot of work to do from when Elliot gets the ball to then when, you know, Jude scores. So I think there is a lot of work to do. But like you said, you know, people will find excuses and any means to cancel out a goal, or, you know, to you know, get themselves back into the game. But in terms of the first half, obviously the first half was 1-1. I was very, very underwhelmed with the first half from England. I felt like Norway was slightly better than us. I also felt that, you know, there was a lot of individuals on the pitch that weren't, whether they were tired, ill, whatever it was, just wasn't playing at their best. And some players were like, literally, it felt like some players were invisible on the pitch. Like Madueke, for me, was invisible. Rice was out of the game. So just too many individuals that allowed Norway to, you know, to build momentum and get chances. And it could have very much been Norway in the lead. But
Saka came on, and Saka was a big game changer for you guys, I have to say. I'm not an Arsenal fan, and not a big fan of Saka, but when he came on, and Eze as well, is again up and coming. A bit disappointing by Eze. I think he needs to do more. But when those two came on, I think it changed the entire game.
Yeah, and then of course in the second half, like you said, the substitutes made an impact. But Norway score, and again their goal is disallowed. And the way it's disallowed is a little bit contentious. But did you guys think that was a push from Haaland on Anderson? And what's your thoughts in terms of how they dealt with it?
Yeah, go on, Walid.
I think he extends his arm. I think you can like do this a bit, and like if people fall down, it's fine. But to extend your arm fully, I think the minute you do this, even if he dives, whatever you say, the minute you extend your arm, it's I mean, the thing was that they repeat it, because I think if the ball doesn't get kicked, you have to repeat the corner kick. Again, it's just another excuse. I think if you extend your arm, if it goes in and they score it, the England fans are going to go crazy. We're all going to be talking here now. You know, England got kicked out of a World Cup, but there was a clear push. Now the opposite is happening, but I don't think the outrage is there, because everyone knows the minute you touch a player or you know, extend your arm, it's a foul. And if it happens anywhere else on the pitch, you know, you're holding onto a player and you just throw them on the floor, it's going to be a foul. So again, I think we're just looking at things because it's frozen VAR and stuff, but it's a clear foul.
I mean, we'll probably talk about the Argentina game as well later. But it's the first time we see in this round. We saw a couple of times, the first time some rules have been implemented. So in that Haaland incident, the push, they obviously determined that it was a foul. So it was a foul because Haaland pushed Anderson.
Yep.
But they decided we're going to chalk off the goal, but also Norway are going to get to retake the corner, which for me was a little bit confusing, because if it's a foul, why would they then get another corner just because the ball wasn't in play? You've already determined it's a foul. Why did they then get a second attempt at the corner? It wasn't making sense. I understand that the ball wasn't in play, but it's almost like, it doesn't feel like a punishment. It's almost like a consolation to say, all right, you get another attempt. We took away the goal, but you get another chance anyway. So it's a bit of a weird rule. What's your thoughts on that, you guys?
Well, I was saying earlier that I see a lot of new rules that are being used during this competition, and someone said, no, they're not new rules. Check the facts. And in fact, they're not new rules, but they're like digging into some rules that were not implemented before, as you rightfully said. Liban, is like it's not new rules, but some old rules or some existing rules that were not implemented, and suddenly they start using it and change. We're not used to this. So if that is by the letter of the law, then there's nothing you can say about this, because but anything needs to be by the letter of the law.
You're actually right.
That's the frustrating part.
You're right, because I said new rules, but it's actually application of the rule.
Yeah, exactly.
So how they apply it.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of that, because I think teams can then do things before knowing that they can get another chance to take the corner. Yes, in this instance, Norway scored, but there could be other cases where they don't have to score, but something's happened, and then they get another chance now to take a corner. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a weird one. But it is what it is. The goal got disallowed. I felt like Norway for the rest of the game were the better team. Again, I think England were really poor with the performance. Some players grew into the game, especially the subs like Jed Spence and Eze. They grew into the game. Saka, which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
we know how Saka is. Of course, he's not at 100% at the moment. He's not playing at his best. He is still carrying a bit of fatigue or injuries from the season. But I think his decision making was so good that it allowed England to still have a fighting chance. He replaced
Madueke, no?
Yeah, Madueke.
Half of Saka or 1/4 of Saka is still better than 100% of Madueke. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, I agree. And Saka, of course, he the impact that he has on the pitch in terms of decision making, I thought gave England that little bit of chance, But the game ends 1-1. It ends 1-1. We go into extra time. And then Jude Bellingham again pops up with the goal. A shot from Rodgers, keeper spills it. And then the man is there again to put the ball in the back of the net. Do you not feel like England have almost been getting away with it every game in some ways? Do you feel like their performances, it's more like we're getting the wins, but the performances aren't convincing?
Do you know, Liban, I've heard this so many times. I was actually speaking to my mates about this, and I even though I'm a diehard Moroccan, I have to disagree with this, because if we've seen Argentina do this, and they call it a mastermind. It's amazing. It's experience. We see Spain winning these type of games, and they call it experience and mastermind. But when England do it, they call it scrape and bind. I just think it's quality over quantity here, and I think when you're scoring these goals, you're scraping. I mean, we went to England went to Mexico. England went to Mexico, and they fought hard, right? They got it over the line. The performance was chaotic, but going to Mexico, all this unbeaten run, they got it over the line, and then they go this is just winning ugly, or just winning professionally, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's just quality at the end of the day.
We can call it winning the Arsenal way.
Just getting it over the line. So some other teams, they'll get the respect because maybe they've won World Cups recently, and they call it, oh, what a job. And England don't have that reputation. But for me, I just think it's similar to what other teams are doing, getting it over the line. It's tournament football. It's not about how you win at the moment, especially in these latter stages. It's all about just getting it over the line and getting the win.
The only reason why I mentioned
Spain is a good example. I agree.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I feel like the difference with Spain and England is Spain are still dominating possession. They are still creating a lot of chances.
It's their style of play, Liban. That's what they do. Tiki-taka, possession-based football.
But they always look like the better team in all their games. Even the games that they won, they always were like the better team. I feel like with England, there's been a lot of games where we haven't been the better team, but we've got the job done. We've gotten over the line, like Willie said. The only reason why I asked that question was because obviously Thomas Tuchel had a very interesting interview. With one of the reporters, and he wasn't happy, even though we just made it. It's crazy because we just made it to a World Cup semi-final, the first one that we've made since 2018, and he was clearly annoyed or upset with the fact that England didn't perform well. And they also asked Jude about it, or they told Jude about the Tuchel's comments. And it almost seems like there's a bit of friction there now. There's a bit of friction between, because he wasn't.
That's the English media. You creating problems for your own team. The tabloids, like if it was in France, it would have been different, because like I don't know if it's because it's a German manager, and then I don't want they want to create some mess or bro. Like, why are you doing this? It's your own team. Were you trying to misinterpret something and make him think that he said something but he did not say this? Bro, like, that's true now. I don't. Yeah. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel is straight to the point. He's German. He's the English. Sometimes they used to the English media as the small talks, and us in mainland Europe, it can be the French, the Italians, the Germans, the Dutch, whatever. If you want to say something, just say it. Don't do, the weather is great today. Have you had no, we don't talk weather. Just say what the way you feel it, and this is how it is. So obviously he has high standards because he's a very good manager. He cannot be just happy with the way you qualified, because he knows what's coming next and that you need to upgrade your game. Otherwise, you're going to get slapped by Argentina. Or we didn't know if it was Argentina or Switzerland, whatever, but I think he's a great manager. He has very high standards, and you're benefiting from this. Just getting, it's coming home, and overhype because you're qualifying for the semi-final. This is not a winner mentality. Winner mentality is the same as Spain, Argentina, and France, for example, where we reached the semi-final. We're not overexcited. It's like we were supposed to reach the semi-final. This is where we belong. Now the rest needs to be done. Nothing has been. Do you know what I mean? Like it's nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing happens until you lift the trophy, basically. So stay focused on the task, and that's why you have a good manager for this.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And Willie, do you agree with that? What Stuart just said?
I think there is friction. It wasn't just Bellingham. Madueke got asked the exact same question almost, where they said, he's not happy with the performance. What do you think? And straight away he was like, did he? Well, I don't agree with him. And it's weird because we all know let's go back to club football. The minute anyone talks about a manager, it's like we need to respect the manager. If he thinks that, we'll go back to the training ground. It's almost like a robotic answer. But this one, it felt very personal. Like Bellingham rolls his eyes. He's like, well, if that's what he thinks, try running on. It's almost like he sat there while we're doing the dog work, basically. It was almost like that type of answer. Madueke gave the same out, like, I disagree with the manager. When have we ever heard a footballer saying they disagree with a manager? It almost feels like we're allowed to say it now because he's German or it's international football. So I do think there's friction. I 100% think there's a disconnect between the manager and the players, and it's almost like a contract agreement that we both.
But what it is, because folks, let's be honest. Even me, sometimes when I do podcasts and I exchange with fans, etc., when I say something, the way, obviously English is not my first language. So I'm trying to do everything I can speaking a foreign language. So I'm challenging anyone to do the same in a foreign language. I'm trying to express my feeling and the way I'm thinking in a foreign language. Then you express it obviously with your own culture. And if you're English, you perceive it as could be arrogance, could be aggressivity, could be, and then you're seeing this as a misconception of the thoughts that he tried to share. But it's very easy. Like he's saying, we are better. What you need to take out of the press conference, the post-match interview, is we're better than what we showed on the pitch today. We have better quality. We've been clumsy. We committed technical mistakes. We should have been have more pace and more speed. However, the mentality was really good, and it helped us get over the line. And thanks to this, we know taking this the wrong way.
But I don't think that's what he. The issue that I believe when I was watching it, because I watched him live saying these things. The first thing I thought is, firstly, the last time, like Liban said, we was in the semi-finals, like when we was almost like a home nation because England was hosting it across. So, like, we're in we're in America. We got to a semi-final, which was very rare for England in the past. it's almost like if I was the manager at that point, I'd be like, that was an awful performance, but we don't care. We've got to a semi-final. What we need to sort out, we'll sort out in the next thing. We just need to be happy. We're mentality monsters. Whatever. Give more positive.
Because he's focusing on the details, Walid. He's focusing on the details.
Not straight away. Not in an interview. You don't come on an interview straight away and be like,
he was like this with PSG. Let's be honest. I'm not a big fan of his communication. Personally, he was like this at PSG. I've never been a big fan of Thomas Tuchel.
But that's his problem, right? That you can't say, because he's this. That's for him to integrate himself in terms of, he's been in England long enough to understand what the media is like. His first response should have been like, the main important thing is we won here. We qualified for the semi-finals. These boys deserve the credit to getting through this. Then if you want to give criticism, give it. Don't give your first two sentences. Awful performance. I'm not happy. This is awful. Blah, blah, blah. That, he knows England. He lives in England. His family grew up, like, he doesn't want to move from England. That's
and he's used to the English. He's used to the English media.
He knows what he's saying. So I don't want to give him this pass. Oh, he's Germany's direct. That isn't a pass for me.
Yeah, I mean, I hear both sides. I hear the manager's side of things because, you know, he demands better, like Stuart said, and he probably has high standards and he expected better against what he probably thought was an opposition that he felt that they should have been more dominant against. But I also agree with the players. I think the players have a right to also express themselves. And, you know, they just came out of 120 minutes, you know, in those conditions, in that heat, you know, against a tough opposition. Norway are not an easy team. They're a tough team. They're a very good team. You know, they're very well drilled.
They knocked out big nations as well, not easy nations. So
exactly. So and if you're a player and you hear that, you just won, you just got your nation to a semi-final at a World Cup, and then you hear your manager being negative, I can understand the reaction from the players as well, to be like, I don't care what he's saying. Like, we just got to the semi-final, you know? So I hear both sides.
The thing I have with this is he almost wants to treat this as club football where, you know, we don't have 36 games where we're going to, every week we've got a training session, we're going to improve our tactics. At this point in the tournament, it's all about fighting for the manager, fighting for the badge, and just fighting on the pitch. Like, if you're not France or Spain, who are tactically know what they're doing, the chemistry is unbelievable and they play good football. Like, England, you're not going to wake up tomorrow morning, all of a sudden England's going to start holding the ball and play. You're not going to do that. So understand your audience, understand what's going on, and just give them his job right now is motivate the players.
You said something very interesting. You said fighting for the badge, fighting for the country, and you said fighting for the manager. I don't think no one is in this England team is fighting for Thomas Tuchel. They all fighting for England and the country, but the manager is just brand new. I don't think
that's what the manager should know. John, that he should be aware of this. Like, they're not going to start playing pretty football. I don't have the time or the longevity to start implementing my ideas. Right now, it's motivation and fighting. That's all we need to do, because with the football's not there. We're not France or Spain that can play the football. Right now, international football, we play in 4 days. It's about fighting and being motivated.
I think I get what you're saying, Walid. I think you're probably saying it's the time and place. I think his comments are valid. I think he has the right, as a manager, he has a right to criticize. I think he chose the wrong time to, and he chose the wrong place to do it publicly.
What is the expression we have this in French, but the equivalent in English would be "Don't wash your dirty laundry in public" or something like this.
You're right.
Do it at home, you in front of everyone, just smile, and then when the door is closed, then you can do whatever you want.
And I think maybe the approach was wrong but I think we have to agree with him though. The performance wasn't great. Like, he didn't lie about that. That was true. The performance of England wasn't good. It wasn't good enough, but we did get the job done, and that's more important than anything. And then you can maybe address it, you know, in the training ground or in the dressing room or whatever it is that you need to do, you know. So yeah, you know, listen, Argentina, you know, I think funny enough, I think Argentina is an easier test than Norway, in my opinion.
Really?
I think so. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Liban,
really 100%. But I think Argentina played with a lot of passion. I think they're very passionate, of course, and I think passion is what drives.
They have a guru. They play for. They think he's a god, you know. For them, he's a human, but he's a creator. But they think he's a creator. You know? It's weird, man. They have a weird relationship with this guy. The other players, you know, it's stodgy.
Yeah, the only reason why I say that is because I think Norway, from the beginning of the tournament, have shown that they are a good team. They're very drilled. They understand their positional play. They have structure. They're organized, and they know who their star man is. They know where they need to get the ball to. And I feel like they showed the consistency in terms of the way they play throughout the tournament, even up until they lost to England. Whereas Argentina, I think they've been, you know, almost relying on Messi's individual brilliance, but also relying on this, the passion and, the fight to get them through games. I don't think they're a very good team, which is why I think England, with the structure and the organization, the work rate, it feels like I'm watching a Premier League team when I'm watching England. Yeah. I think that will be a bit too much for Argentina to try and break down. And I think England will get their chances. And I think it will be a comfortable win for England. I actually believe.
If there's no refereeing,
yes, as long as everything's officiated correctly. Yeah.
Exactly, because all the Argentina game, there's been a madness happening from a refereeing perspective. So also they play nasty, they play sneaky. They don't play.
Yeah, but I don't think the referee decisions have been the catalyst of them winning. No, I think maybe you can say it's not like Chelsea versus Barcelona where we saw it with our eyes.
It's led them to perform exactly the same as when they score 3 goals in 10 minutes against Egypt. You cannot say it's the referee that made this
exactly
happen.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
It's Egypt.
It's mind games on the opposition, the refereeing decisions against in favor of Argentina, and usually at crucial moments we can talk about the red card for the second yellow for Switzerland and things like things like it's just, bro, it's obviously it's impacting the game.
I think the game at the Azteca, I think that was a big game for England in terms of now going into this game, because they already shown that if they need to get down on dirty,
yes,
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one in terms of Argentina. Now, it's I see it from a Moroccan perspective as well, and I'll go into this later on about why I relate with England and Morocco what's happening. I think England could lose this game because of two reasons. Firstly, I think what you have with Argentina, it might not look pretty, but the experience that they have, and I talk about on other sports, when Nadal came in and they played Roger Federer, Nadal had the energy, the legs, the speed, he had everything, but Roger Federer never really moved. They called him a bit old, but he just had the experience. He never did anything amazing, just the experience to win these tournaments or these games. And even though Nadal looked amazing, Roger Federer just always had the experience, knew exactly when the energy needs to be used, know exactly when to push it. And England almost like these young energetic players with Bellingham and Madueke and stuff, they've got all the energy, they've got the legs, they've got the fight. But with Argentina, it's almost like they're just winning games, and they've been here before. They know it's like, again, football heritage. They know how to win games. They're not doing anything special.
It's game management, basically.
It's game management. They know when to push it, when not to push. They know how to score goals, when to give 100%. I just think sometimes these type of games in semi-finals and finals it comes down to the experience and the calmness of.
This is when Thomas Tuchel will help you with game management and with experience, because it will be more strategic. I don't think it will be going all guns blazing at Argentina from the beginning. I don't think so. Even potentially Marcus Rashford could become your super sub as well. So I think it's down to the manager at this stage, and I think Thomas Tuchel can make a big difference, in my opinion.
But I mean, we'll probably do our predictions for this at the end. But we're gonna move on now to the next game. I want to do France versus Morocco.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I thought you were about to forget about debriefing the France Morocco.
No, I had to bring it straight away because, of course,
thank you, brother.
I've got my 2 representatives here. And to be honest with you, I'll give you my perspective.
Go on.
I thought France cruised in that game, to be honest with you. I felt that Morocco disappointed me. I thought they'll put up more of a fight. I know Saibari wasn't there, and that was a big loss, huge loss for them.
Yeah.
But I just felt like they still had enough talent, enough quality to still provide some problems for France. And I didn't think they did at any point in the game, to be honest with you. Across the 90, it never really seemed or felt like Morocco were ever going to score.
No.
And France just did what they needed to do. And just, it was a professional job. I'd say it was a professional job, a professional win. But obviously the big talking point was the penalty in that first half. Mbappé getting that penalty, but the delay to the penalty, I feel like it's actually a real thing where the longer there is a delay for the penalty, the more likely the person is going to miss. I feel like psychologically it just has an impact.
It was all Argentinian referees anyway, so they will not be. No, to be fair, I don't think we played the best version of Morocco. Let's be objective. I was disappointed as well. I think Brahim Diaz was a bit quiet. Unai was a bit quiet. Even Hakimi, my player, I think it was not at his best level. I'm feeling for Hakimi. At the same time, I'm happy he's back on holidays. He's not going to be injured for next season. But the only one that was up to the task is Bono. Always Bono.
Yeah.
Bono, he was immense. He was really good. He did everything he could to save Morocco, but it was the rest of the team, they let him down a little bit. So we just managed the game quite well, in my opinion. It was not the best France game that we had. We struggled during the first half. I think it was quite even during the first half, to be honest. But yeah, we're game management again. Game management. We're down to the experience as well. Maybe there was this revenge flavor from Morocco, because obviously the last World Cup against France, we know what happened. They wanted the revenge, and then they got carried out with the emotions potentially. I don't know, but I feel like the Morocco we faced, it was a bit disappointing. Let's be honest. So I don't know about you, Walid, but I would have preferred them to.
I'll tell you.
Punch back a little bit.
What went wrong, Walid? Yeah.
So there's a number of reasons, and these aren't excuses. I'm just going to try and give you, because to me, I agree with everything. It was a disappointment. It's not the Moroccan side I knew. It's not the Moroccan side I watched from Brazil and Netherlands and all this. It was polar opposite. And I don't think. Listen, firstly, I need to give credit to France, because that front 4 or 5. You're talking top 10 Ballon d'Or people there, and anyone that has 4 plays in the top 10 of Ballon d'Or is ridiculous. If you close Mbappé, you got Dembele. If you got Dembele, you got Elise, and then you got Due. It's just chaos after chaos, and I think there was enough. Barcola, I mean, yeah, but to a certain degree. But again, I just think that front 4 was absolutely ridiculous. And I think Kone played an absolutely unbelievable game. I think he's gone under the radar. I think he played absolutely fantastic. But my perspective is a number of factors that's finally hit Morocco, and it's caught with us. First, I think Morocco just went into too many wars and too many battles. I think, we're talking about, we faced Brazil, we faced Netherlands, and I think we almost we played those games like finals. We had the battle with Scotland, with that awful referee who had France and Paraguay, Scotland just kicked the hell out of us, and no one mentioned that game. And then we was down to Haiti, and we had to use all our energy to come back and beat Haiti, where to me, I think we should have just given that game away, and if we lost, just rest the players. So I was screaming for that, because I knew something like this was going to happen. Obviously, Netherlands happened. Now, for me, the Netherlands game came a bit too soon. I would have liked Netherlands rather than Canada, and Canada in the round of 32, because I think that Netherlands game, 120 minutes, but the whole history between Morocco and Netherlands, I think the emotional drive to just having to win that game and get it over the line, 90th minute scoring, I think that just drained us physically, emotionally. And then we got to Canada, had one of the worst halves we've seen in such a long time. And then the energy to try and win 3-0 there. I think Morocco was actually number 1 in the most traveled team across the qualifying. So we went all the way to Mexico, to Houston, back to Boston. Morocco traveled the most, where I think it was France who barely traveled. I think they did like 1,000 kilometers, where Morocco did like 15,000 kilometers across 10 days. So these aren't excuses. I'm just trying to calculate why things went wrong. We got 5 team first players out the team. Abdi Zazuli, Hamza Igamain, Egled, you got Saibari, and you got Shadi Riyad. So you're talking 5 starters. You take 5 starters out of any team, you're going to notice a big lift. What we noticed is we had bench players starting, but we had bench players starting who's already used their legs up, and then we're using bench players as people that we would never really see in these tournaments of World Cup. So it's a number of factors. France were unbelievable. France have, for me, the best team, the best players. Morocco just exhausted. Too many battles, too many wars, tied legs. And it's almost like a sacrificial lamb. They came into the humidity. They knew they were going to lose. They knew they didn't have the players. They tried to put up a fight, but they knew from the first 5-10 minutes, it was like, we're playing a right back, we're playing a left back, who really is a right back at left back, we're playing at centre back. Saladin's going left back. It was just too many hurdles, too many problems, too many hurdles, and it all came crashing against one of the best teams for me, if not the best team in the world.
And given everything you just said in terms of like all the reasonings, and I think they're all fair reasons as to what could have potentially had an influence in terms of why Morocco performed so well, bad against France. However, I feel like there's still a lot of positives to take, no? In terms of, you said obviously a lot of players were missing. You've come up against France, who are the favourites, and you've reached a quarterfinal, which is still a good achievement, for Morocco. I know Morocco are ambitious, but it's still a good achievement. Do you see it as something positive to also take for the future and for the future tournaments as well?
I mean, sitting here disappointed that we lost to France in the quarterfinal just shows the progression, firstly in African football, but in Moroccan football as a whole, right? We lost to one of the best French teams. I think this French team, attacking-wise, is way better than 2022. It's incredible. But secondly, I think just to be disappointed isn't an achievement. It sounds a bit petty, but it's just an achievement for us to be in this position. But the first thing that we had to do is show consistency and show we wasn't just a one-off. We wasn't a South Korea that got to a semi-final or quarter-final, and then the next World Cup they got out of the group stage. We had to show that continuous flow. It's almost like Arsenal. They went second, win the title. We have to show consistency. Now, the way the game played out, we're disappointed. We wanted to show more fight. But when you sit back as a Moroccan and you say, we said, if we got to the quarterfinals, that was a huge achievement. I believe if Morocco was in any other roadmap, like England's roadmap or Argentina's or even Spain's, I think we would have got to the semi-final, maybe again. But getting to France in the quarterfinal was a bit of a detriment to us. But for us, it was about consistency, showing that this wasn't a one hit. This wasn't just because we was in Qatar and we had this, this manager and this players, and it was just a one hit wonder. We showed that if anything, the players are probably better now than it was in 22. Maybe that the tired legs wasn't as much in 22, but the consistency was key. And not only that, we had, I think it was the third youngest squad in the whole of the World Cup. The only African nation to do back-to-back quarterfinals. And again, like you said, 5 team players in the starting lineup that was missing. For me, it's just positivity. I said before the World Cup, get to the quarterfinals.
Walid, I see one potential issue in this squad moving forward is that the entire squad is very young. But you have relied, Bono is a key player, key actor of everything that Morocco has managed to achieve recently and to reach that level. If Bono goes, you need a replacement that is as good as Bono. Otherwise, it will be very complicated for you to carry on with the consistency, in my opinion.
I can't disagree. And I think that's one thing that Moroccans are worried about. They're asking him to play the next World Cup. But at 40 years old, I just don't think he'll play it. So for me right now, we have 4 years, which is also hosted in Morocco. I'll be there for the whole World Cup. But now you have 4 years to find the next talent who's 22, 23 years old as a goalkeeper and get him in place right now in the next African Cup of Nations. Start to transition these olds into youngs. And we have 4 years. And I think Morocco are in the best position that they've ever been in the history of Morocco. So it's positivity. The game itself horrendous, but in the bird's eye view, I can't say anything but positive.
But it's also normal for goalkeepers to play at 40. I mean, a lot of goalkeepers do it. So I can still see him. I could see. I would be very. I would be very surprised if Bono didn't play in the next World Cup. Given that,
I think he's completely. I see the opposite almost.
Is it? Because I think it's in Morocco. I think if I'm him, and I'm just obviously this is my personal perspective on it. If I'm Bono and I'm 35, and keepers naturally retire around 40, 41. Like Van der Sar, we had Van der Sar till he was about 41.
True.
I just feel like what the Cape Verde goalkeeper did as well.
Vozinho was 40. No, it's true. I just think knowing that the next World Cup is in my home nation, I will do everything in my power to make sure that I'm there. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Playing in Saudi, it wouldn't be detrimental to his body. It's all depends on how he plays, right? Because we saw a little bit. To be honest, at the beginning of the tournament, we saw a bit of a dip of the friendlies of Bono. He wasn't the Bono of 2022, but he was still good enough to be the number one. Like you said, I think we just have to judge it as it goes. He's definitely going to be the next AFCON, 2 AFCONs. It's whether his body can hold up or can he do what he's doing at the moment at 40 years old.
No, I agree. We're going to move on to the next game, Argentina, Switzerland. I mean, this game, it was a little bit underwhelming because I felt like, especially in the first half, I felt like Swiss were really, really poor. And I felt like Argentina were just cruising. It looked like they were just going to cruise to the semi-final. Obviously, McAllister opened the scoring with a goal in the first 10 minutes with a header from, again, another assist, another World Cup assist from Lionel Messi. I think it's the most assists in World Cup history. I think he's registered 10. I think it's 10 assists. I might be wrong. It might even be more. But he's got the most record in terms of World Cup assists. And it just looked like a game where Argentina looked like they were going to cruise. And then second half, of course, they equalised. Switzerland get back into the game. Switzerland had a lot of chances, to be honest. They caused Argentina a lot of problems. They scored a goal, and then something always has to happen in these Argentina games. I'm not accusing them on anything in this case because I do think it was the right decision, but something just always seems to happen.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And this one, it's not on them. I think Mbolo, the Swiss player, I felt like he did something very, very silly, which was obviously dive. To give a
you dive, brother. You dive. It's no problem. You dive. It's a dive. Okay, so you blow the whistle. Free kick, but he's already on the yellow and he's really far from the box. You know, if you give him another yellow, you're going to kill the game. That's it. 10 men against 11, it will be Argentina. That's for sure. Come on, we should have some kind of balance here. We're not calling for everything that is rigged. Everything is a conspiracy theory. Everything. No. It's just that it's a fact that it's not as balanced as it should be normally. when it's Argentina playing. It's always favored. You know, like as I mentioned, yes, a dive, it's a free kick, blow the whistle, free kick. But you know he's already on the yellow. Come on.
Yeah, but the thing is, and that's why I kind of mentioned before, it was an application of the new application of the rule.
There you go.
Where they, you know, obviously Paredes got a yellow
of an
card.
existing rule that they never apply. Yeah.
Exactly, and obviously Paredes committed what they seemed to be a foul. He got booked, and the booking was reviewed. They checked to see whether or not he should have got a yellow. They realized that Embolo, and in fact, had dived, so they rescinded the yellow card for Paredes, and then decided we have to book Embolo because he's dived. In the rule book, if you dive and you simulate, it's a yellow card. So he had to get his second yellow, which then ultimately ended up in being a red card. Look, I'm not Argentina's biggest fan, but on this occasion, I do think if that is the rule, that was the correct decision. And if anyone needs to be criticized in that moment, it has to be Embolo. Because one, why did you dive? Why did you dive? I can't, even till now, the way he dived and the reason behind why
cringe.
He's diving,
that's so obvious.
It didn't make sense to me. So on this occasion, I can't even say anything to Argentina because they didn't do anything wrong in this case. You know, Embolo has to take the responsibility and accountability for that. And I'd say that he cost his team the game because in that moment, Switzerland had the momentum. They were creating chances. They looked like the team that were going to score next. Only for them to have 10 men, which then obviously changed the tide of the game. But what's your thoughts as well, Walid, on that decision?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like you sit down as a Swiss team, the manager's probably sat down with them and was like, listen, guys, we've just seen what happens in the Egypt game. They're obviously looking, let's say we agree or disagree or we act neutral. Like maybe they're looking for decisions to favor Argentina. Let's say we're the worst conspiracy theories in the world. You sit down as a manager, let's not give them anything. Let's not give them a sniff of these decisions. You're on a yellow card. You even on a yellow card and you think these things, again, let's say there is biases. As a person on a yellow card, the last thing you're going to do is give them a reason. You're away from goal. It's not like you're trying to win a penalty and you're taking the risk. It's the last second. Even if I get sent off here, can I trick them and get in a penalty? I mean, you're away from goal and you're getting a free kick. That really doesn't really matter. I just thought, again, it's just laziness. It's probably the reasons why these players maybe don't reach the heights of, you know, Mbappé, when he first hit the scene, he was talking about being a big striker. Maybe they don't hit the heights because of these certain decisions like this. It's just, it's very weak, low IQ thinking of, in the quarterfinals, the momentum is with you. You're on a yellow card. Don't give them anything now. And this is what I'm talking about, experience with Argentina and teams that don't have experience. Then you do this, and now you've just handed them a game. You're more frustrated, similar to Egypt. I'm more frustrated at the opposition. Even if there's 100% biases, I'm just angry at these guys because you've given it to them. You've given them that biases. You've given them the platform to enter into these biases, if there is biases, let's say.
Exactly. This is what England needs to avoid against Argentina at all costs.
I agree. Yeah, 100%, you know, and then the inevitable happens. Of course, the game still goes to extra time, which, to credit to Swiss, I think they really did well to hold off Argentina and take it to extra time. But the inevitable happened, and of course, absolute worldie from Julian Alvarez to put that ball, one of the best goals of the tournament, right into the top corner. Lautaro then comes and just finishes the job off to make it 3-1. And now you have Argentina versus England, which is a fixture that obviously has a lot of history, both on the pitch and off the pitch. I think the last time we played them was when Diego Simeone got David Beckham sent off in '98. So there's a lot of history between these two countries, you know. So, I mean, we're probably going to expect it to be not just an entertaining match, but also a lot of fights, I would assume, on the pitch. I think it's going to be
already kicked off after the game between the fans as well. I saw videos like, hey, be careful.
Is it? When I was in Qatar, I met a lot of Argentinian fans. They were actually good, like calm people, you know, to be fair with you. I thought they were calm, but of course, World Cup now, we're playing against each other. It's different. It's a different energy, different vibe.
There's no friends anymore.
Yeah, so, you know, it's a fixture that I'm excited for. I think if you look at the semi-finals, and I know we're going to speak about Spain in just a moment as well, it's the first time ever since the FIFA rankings where we've got the top 4 teams playing against each other.
Yes,
so
true.
You know we're in for a good treat in terms of the semi-finals, and even if the two teams that loses, they still have to play each other in a third place match. So even that game might still be entertaining as well.
Yeah, there's this as well.
Yeah, so
we don't want this. They still do this. Chocolate.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it against even Morocco had to play Croatia. No one cared.
Anyone watching this game, to be honest, to be the third of the competition?
It depends. If it's Spain versus Argentina, for example, it might be Lamine Yamal versus Messi the first time they've played against each other. That's an entertaining game. You know? I mean, I think because the teams that are involved, it might still make an entertaining game. So I think people might still watch it. I don't know. But we can move on to the Spain game, the last game, Spain versus Belgium. I feel like Spain have kind of been going under the radar. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like they've kind of just been coasting through without people really noticing them too much or talking about them too much. And,
you see, Walid, he was talking about experience earlier. Spain is a boring team to watch. Tiki-taka, just passing and passing sometimes, but they do have experience. They do have experience at this level. That's why it's always tricky. We always struggle against Spain. Let's be honest. We take this game very seriously, even if they haven't been. If you ask to all the football fans, who's favorite? Everyone will say France because our style of play is more sexy than the Spanish style of play. However, they are a tough side to play, to be honest. So I wouldn't underestimate Spain. They're boring. It might be either a sleepy game or we will cut them open and it will be a carnage. So, in my opinion, it's gonna be very tough.
I compared the Spain team to Pep in the like third or fourth year of Man City, where he almost drags these, like when I support Liverpool, obviously, and we had these front three, Firmino, Salah, and Mane, forward, like running constantly, interchanging. But every time we play City, he almost like we beat them at Anfield, but every time we played him or when he plays him, he almost drags you down into this slow tempo. They control it, and I think France have this attacking football, and what they can't get dragged into is this slow tempo. And you saw with Portugal, they started to drop off, and I think Spain systematically, technically, they just drag you into this slow game where they just pass 60th minute goal, nothing's happened, and then they just score all of a sudden. And this is what Spain is. They're not going to be exciting, but they just know how to play football and how to win. And like you said, they've gone under the radar because there's nothing really to show. Lamine Yamal, for sure, a couple of tricks here and there, but majority of the time is keeping possession of the ball and kill them with possession. And that's what Man City were in the Pep days, where I don't care if it's ugly, we just slow the play down and we attack when we need to attack and be precise when we need to be.
And I agree with everything you said. I think Spain, they're still one of the favorites in my opinion, and they 100%. Still could very much win this World Cup. But the biggest talking point going into that game was Pedri got dropped. So Pedri got dropped for Fabian Ruiz. Obviously, Stuart, you're very familiar with Fabian Ruiz, plays for PSG. And it sparked a big debate, and it was a lot of talk, especially with Spanish people. They were a bit upset that Pedri got dropped. But then, the script writers got it right this time, and Fabian Ruiz ends up scoring the first goal of the game.
Exactly.
Pedri, I think this tournament has it's been weird because I think France haven't really they didn't get up into this game. I didn't feel like they got their midfield balance correct. I still think they don't have the right balance in their midfield. Sure. So obviously Pedri hasn't been, he's always going to be Pedri. He will still give the passes, keep the ball well and whatnot, but I don't think he's been performing at the level that we've seen him for Barcelona. So there's obviously been a tactical decision to bring in Fabian Ruiz, who's probably a lot more fresh at the moment, probably a bit, because he hasn't played too much club football because of his injuries. So probably a bit more fresher, a little bit more physical as well, given that, Belgium got a bit more size in their midfielders as well. But, it looks like it didn't make much of a difference for them. I think Spain still got the job done. Fabian Ruiz got the goal. But then against a run of play, Belgium then, equalised, which I don't think they deserved the goal. But this is knockout football. This is what happens. And that was it. Marino comes on in the second half, does what he's done in the previous round. And it does again. And this guy, I swear, Marino, I don't know what to make of him anymore because he's done this so many times for Arsenal. He's now doing this for Spain.
He's average, but
you can't. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. And if I'm used to it, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would be worried about that guy. If there's one player to be worried about, it's definitely become Marino. But what would you lot's thoughts on that game specifically?
I think we started. Is it the first game that Spain conceded a goal?
Yeah, first game of the tournament. Yeah.
So you see, we waited a lot for them to concede, but it shows you that they still have flaws, even if they are very solid and experienced team. And to have Belgium scoring, to be fair, it's a bit surprising. In my opinion, Spain is Spain. Like they have European and World Cup pedigree. They need to be respected for their experience. But I'm not scared of Rodri. I'm not scared of Fabian Ruiz.
Not scared of Rodri.
I'm not. Manu Kone. I'll play Manu Kone over Rodri all day long. You see Manu Kone. Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Manu Kone. You see, everyone's sleeping on him. Everyone's sleeping on him. Now everyone is like, "Oh, how can we sleep on this? We haven't realized he's at AS Roma, and why we're not offering him millions to play in the Premier League." Blah, blah, blah. This is everyone during the World Cup. This is when you realize how good the players are as well. Let's be honest. But sometimes it's not very visible. But in my opinion, we have better quality. We have better options. We have better squad depth. We have a better manager as well. I think it can make the difference. What I'm also excited and encouraged about is the performance of Marc Maignan against Morocco, because Marc Maignan, our keeper, has been okay since the beginning of the competition, but on many occasions he was key to the win against Morocco, and he had very good saves, and we will need him against Spain as well. So to be fair, it was the only missing piece was potentially the keeper, and Marc Maignan now is and we have option. Warren Zaïre-Emery had a great game against Morocco. Zaïre-Emery could also potentially be an option. No, I'm not scared of Spain. The only thing I'm scared of Spain is the trickiness and the sneakiness of Cucurella. You know,
not Lamine Yamal. Not Lamine
Yamal is not sneaky. He's a bowler. He's quality. He's technical, and he can score whenever he decides to score. He will score. Cucurella is different because Cucurella can influence the game in a way that you don't want the game to be influenced, you know, like triggering the players, playing sneaky and stuff like that, and it will potentially create weird refereeing decisions. So this is the one I will pay a lot of attention to. And Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo, for me, has been a key player for Spain since the beginning of the competition. Everyone's sleeping on him. He's a very, very good player. And those are the two that I will pay a lot of attention to. Lamine Yamal and Dani Olmo.
Dani Olmo is better for Spain than he is for club, for sure. He's definitely better for Spain than he is for Barcelona. Walid, I'm going to start with you, actually, because I want to see, because obviously I will come to you, Stuart, but I want to know, what do you think your prediction is going to be for France, Spain?
France and Spain. I've said it from the beginning of the tournament. To be honest, I did a prediction. I thought Spain would win the World Cup because how easy their road were. But I've always said this, friend, if you beat France, you win the World Cup for me. And I would say France probably beats all the other teams. I think this is the final for me. I think whoever wins this game goes on to win the World Cup. The issue that they have is, they have, even though Spain play tiki-taka football, they do have that Lamine option where he takes on 2 or 3 plays. It's almost the opposite of tiki-taka football. So I think he drags you into that, all of a sudden they've changed up the pace, and that's what Lamine Yamal gives you. And that's what they need to worry about, because I think the weaknesses, and I keep saying this, Morocco didn't exploit it, the weaknesses for the French is on the left and the right-hand side. Even though they look good in this game, there's still weaknesses there. There's times where Brahim Diaz went past the left-back 3 or 4 times, and I think if you got Lamine Yamal or you got those right wingers, that's what they need to worry about. But for me, people talk about Mbappe as if we almost just take him for granted as Mbappe because he's 18, 17 years old. He's always been on the world stage. But this guy, for me, has stepped up another level. This guy can drop in deep, get the ball and score from 40 yards or 30 yards. He can score one-on-ones. He can score with a header. I just don't think people appreciate what this guy... And then Elise picking up the ball. I think Spain are going to constantly be worried about that attack, and you rightly need to be so. I think you're going to firstly see Spain sitting it deep and worried about the opposition, and rightly so, because that attacking force is absolutely frightening. So I think the main man will be Elise again. I think people go under the radar with him, picking up in that midfield, taking on Rodri. He hasn't got the pace to keep up. Rodri 5 years ago, I'd say maybe, but Rodri doesn't have the legs or pace to keep up with Elise, and I think it's going to be another frightening show for France. I think it'll probably be like 3-1 France, 2-1 France. I think it'll be.
I think he's right. It's the one or the other. Yeah.
So it's just going to be attacking force.
So you're saying 3-1, Walid? Is that your score?
I believe France will win 3-1. Yeah.
And Stuart, what about you? What's your scoreline going to be?
I agree with Walid. I think it's either a boring game the way Spain plays, and then it will go extra time and penalties. And I don't think we're going to win it on penalties, to be fair. So I don't want to go penalties. Or we're going to cut them open. I'm going 4-0. 4-0 France.
Okay.
I think we have the tools to do
4-0 is crazy. 4-0.
I don't think we're going to concede. I don't think we're going to concede. But you can call it arrogance. You can call it whatever you want. As I mentioned, we are either going to struggle and we lose it on penalties, or we cut them open. It's one or the other. There's no middle. There's no 2-1. There's no 1-0. There's no. It's gonna be one or the other.
Yeah, I think with this French team, you need pace. Like, look at Senegal; they had Nicolas Jackson who hit a pulse. Like, you need frightening pace to beat these centre backs. And apart from Lamine Yamal, Spain don't have pace. Let's be honest. That front three, they're very work the ball into the box. But to beat France, you need frightening pace as that front three. If you don't have frightening pace, they're gonna block you in, and they'll just score with that front six.
Yeah, my prediction is different to you guys. What are you gonna say?
I was saying the only weakness I see in the squad during that game is Jules Koundé, and it's been the weakness since the beginning of the competition. For me, is the weakness, so we should be careful on this side of the pitch. However, no, if he's having a good game, then it will be easy, light work for us.
Okay. My prediction is different. I'm going for. I think it's gonna be the Lamine Yamal show. I genuinely believe
this is when he decides to wake up.
This is where he decides to wake up. I think this is where you will. I think this tournament, of course, he's coming off the back of an injury. He's been playing okay. He hasn't been playing at the level we know he is. He looks a little bit more ordinary than he usually does for Barcelona. But I think Lamine Yamal is going to really, really turn up this game, and I think he's going to remind everyone, in my opinion, why he is still the best player on the planet. And it's and I've said already, I said before the tournament, so my prediction was Spain to win the tournament. And I know, Stuart, you said that Spain they're very boring and they play this boring football. But the reason why I feel like but the reason why I feel like they play a lot of boring football is because a lot of the teams, most of the teams that they've played up against in this World Cup, sit in low blocks against them. And so the football is naturally going to be boring because they're just playing the ball side to side. I think France, not that it's a bad thing, but I think they were going to approach this game, in my opinion, with a little bit of arrogance and feeling like they're the best team.
Again.
Not the fans. I'm talking about the players.
Not the fans. Not even the players. No,
I think not in the sense that there's two different ways of arrogance. Arrogance can be bad, but it can be good as well. I think the arrogance in terms of they feel like they are the best, so they are not going to shy away from showing their talents. They're gonna go at Spain. They're gonna try create chances. They're gonna try to take shots. They're gonna play how they've been playing the entire tournament. They're not gonna change because it's Spain. I think they're gonna continue playing how they play. I think Spain, because of that, Spain will have a lot more space. I think on the transition, they're going to be able to move the ball a lot quicker, get the ball up the pitch to Lamine Yamal. And I think Lamine Yamal in the 1v1s against Luka Digne, whoever it is, I think it will be a big problem. And I don't think France will double team Lamine Yamal or triple team him. I think they will leave the fullback to be in 1v1 situations. And I think if you do that with Lamine Yamal, I think it's a problem. And I think I'm saying it's going to be 2-1 to Spain.
Liban, usually so to the transition this year, I would
Lamine Yamal sure, but only one goal difference, huh?
Only one goal difference, but I think he will play a part. I think his impact will be felt.
I think Lamine Yamal gets the reason he's not played well. I think Spain are really good in the Euros because they had Williams and Lamine Yamal, and you had two pacey players who dragged the defenders away. Now it's almost like you don't worry about the other side, so they've got so many bodies around Lamine Yamal. I just think if you don't play Williams at 100%, where you got two players on each side flying forward, that's why I don't think Lamine Yamal will do it because he hasn't got the space.
I think that's actually a good point that you mentioned, Nico Williams, because I think they've been saving him through for this part of the
you need momentum, Liban. It's impossible.
No, but he when he came on against Belgium, I thought he made a very good cameo. I thought he did really well when he played against Belgium. So I think this next game against France, I think he will start. I think they will try and start him. And I don't know, something in my heart tells me that Spain is going to win. Not to wind you up, Stuart. I just think
I know you're not winding me up, but are you saying the same as Walid? You think the winner of this game will win the World Cup, whether it's England or Argentina?
I think
So whether it's Argentina or England playing the final against one of those two, you're not going to win.
I think England. So I think England. I might as well say my prediction for this one. I think England will beat Argentina comfortably. I think it will be 2-0. I don't think England would have problems. Wow. I think England will. Yeah, I don't see Argentina causing problems. I honestly don't believe it. I think people on paper, it looks like a game where Argentina might, give us problems and because they got Messi and whatnot. But I think they've been coasting because of the opposition that they've been playing. I think now that they're playing against a team that is more structured, have better players, I think they will struggle. And I think I'm going for England 2-0. And I think England will get to the final. In the final, I don't think they'll be favourites.
So that would be England-Spain for you? That would be England-Spain for you?
England-Spain. I think it'll be a rematch of the Euro final. I think a rematch of the Euro final. And I think I would love for England to win, of course, but Spain would be the favourite in that game. So I would probably say that Spain might get the edge on us again. But in the final, anything can happen. I'd rather be there than not be there. You know?
Of course.
Yeah. But what's you lots of predictions for the England game as well?
I think I was mentioning the Morocco similarities with England is I just think England's gone through too many battles, gone over to Mexico, big war, then played this game, big battle against the big physical Norway. Argentina, like you said, they played Switzerland, they played who did it play? Egypt. Yes, it was battles in terms of trying to win, but it wasn't very physical. It wasn't, they were, like you said, they were coasting. And I think I've always said this World Cup will be won by the team that has the best fitness and the best physicality. I don't think it's got anything to do with who has the speed or the the technical players. I just think it's fitness, and Argentina just haven't gone through the battles like England have.
But they did play 120 minutes.
Exactly.
But again, it was more just coasting. Like I don't feel like England going to Mexico. I think that was a huge hurdle. Like everyone was writing England off. Like they were like, no, this is it. The altitude, going over to Mexico, and then just the physicality of Norway. I just think there's too many big battles for England.
The thing is,
I want England to be the final.
You know, the Azteca thing. I genuinely believe that's a blessing, in disguise. Because I think that was the biggest battle they will probably have in this entire tournament. I think them going to Azteca will probably benefit them going into this Argentina game, because Azteca, you're playing against the home nation in the home stadium in high altitude. They have an incredible record at the Azteca as well.
Stadium where the fans they want to kill you, they throw bottles, like the atmosphere. Yeah, I know.
The Argentina game is going to be in a neutral venue. It's not going to be. It might feel like they might have more fans, but it will be in a neutral venue where they will be.
After a long season, it's whether you still have the legs to keep that, the extra yard.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
I mean, it's too many big battles, and I'm hoping they have the legs, but sometimes they'll run and be like, it's not there because we've spent all that energy in Mexico. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Stuart, what about your prediction?
I think now everyone wants England to knock Argentina out of the competition. The good thing is that you have the entire world backing you up now. I'd love for England to reach the final. I think England will win against Argentina, not comfortably. I think it will be a short win, 1-goal difference. I'm going 2-1 England against Argentina. You reach the final against France, and France wins against England.
And
then everyone will hate me even more in this country. And I will be fine with this.
I hear you. But I mean, France-England is a derby anyway. That is a derby.
It is. In rugby, in football, in a lot of sports.
Everything.
Yeah, so it'll be. I'm sure that'll be kicking off in both Paris and London. That'll be a good spectacle. It'll be a very good spectacle. But listen, guys, I appreciate you guys for jumping on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I really enjoyed that, guys. Really enjoyed that. I'm gonna make sure to put your socials and your YouTube in the description again, so that people can also find you. So guys, make sure to also check the guys' socials and their football channels as well. They are putting out great content as well across this World Cup, so make sure to go subscribe and join that as well. And until next time, my people, take care.
Allez les Bleus.